Let's go on to the next one. Absolute decoupling of economic growth and emissions in 32 countries. We've talked about this idea before, how economic growth and emissions or damage to the environment are generally coupled. They're generally very tied. If you improve people's standard of living, it tends to harm the environment. Your average person in the first world or the United States uses like 13 times the resources as someone in a developing nation. So, what happens when the developing nations actually develop? It's a major open question. Um, well, don't worry. Zeke Housefather over here, the director of climate energy at Breakthrough, he has the answer. We've decoupled the two. You can, decoupling means you separate them. One can go one way. Economic growth, you can still continue, but emissions will go down. Here's his proof. Let's go take a look. He's got a couple graphs, but here's the United States. Here's GDP growing. Here's emissions lowering. Same thing in the UK. Same thing in Germany. Same thing in France. I mean, I don't know if you're noticing a pattern here, but these are these are already developed first world nations. They're all transitioning to an information technology economy. And from a manufacturing technology economy, takes a lot less energy to run a computer than a fucking drill press. Okay, so it's like sort of just to be expected. It doesn't even address the complaint, which is that we're talking about countries that haven't developed. They're not going to skip from not having developed straight into information technology. That's very unlikely. They're going to have to go through the growing pains just like everybody else. Even with these reductions, these first world countries are still way too high for the rest of the world to scale up to here. It's totally unsustainable. They're only looking at CO2 emissions. They're not looking at anything else, like the fact that the U.S. uses 25% of the world's oil, like 30% of the paper, 27% of the aluminum. I could go on and on. Like, we'd have to mine so many more minerals if they even exist. Got some bad news for you about how much damage mining does to the environment. It's insane. So, like, just kind of silly. Like, they're trying to convince you that we've already solved the problem, but we haven't. It's going to require basically either magic or some sort of space age technology that either aliens or Elon Musk drops off. So, don't worry about old Zeke here. He's just writing words and making graphs.